I find my way into this cold crowd with cold animals on this side. I'm like, you guys want to bite me tonight again? Just because I say your husband is younger, that I deserve all of that. She insulted me, insulted my husband, insulted my children, insulted my family. This is a total gang.
Jesus.
I'm so nobody had my back.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I want to come home tonight. I want to come home today.
Guys, listen, for real. I just wish there was another way to analyze this entire show without having to call out Annie on her bullshit. But guys, Annie just keeps on making it so difficult to defend her. Ah, my God. Listen, I just finished watching episode 3, by the ways, and oh my God, Annie's lies, the deception, the manipulation, and worst of all, the people that are falling for it. Naked DJ, Kefiwe. Oh God, even Kaylee herself that went home to go and tell Naked DJ that, oh, at her event, Annie was ganged up on. I'm like, how? How? Who ganged up on Annie? Oh my God. Oh my God. See, guys, you know what? Let's just dive right into this video, all right? Because we're about to dissect this particular episode, all right? And of course, I know that you guys are probably have watched it all, yes, but just go with the flow, all right? Go with the flow. And more importantly, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, because there's a lot. I don't want to jump the scenes, so I'm going to take it from the very top. Before we get into all of that, hey, you're especially welcome to my channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I'm the girl with the T, yes. If this is your first time tuning in, you are especially welcome. If you're yet to subscribe though, please do not hesitate to use the subscribe button. All right, go ahead and click on that to become a part of this community. Also turn on your post notification bell to always receive a lot of my videos whenever I upload a new one. I don't know why I'm skipping. It's like my brain is skipping. Yeah. And to those of you that are returning viewers or returning subscribers, you are all specially welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in again. All of that said, let's just quickly dive right into the details of this episode. Let's take it from the very top. So, guys, I still can't get over the fact that Annie sat down there in all of her lies and delusion and was attacking Swanky Jerry for not fighting for her as usual, as he used to do. Like, oh my God, guys, where did Annie get that audacity from? For someone that she has trash talked, someone that she has actually dragged across the streets of Lagos or even Nigeria as a whole. Like, you said a lot of nasty things about this guy. I mean, we're not even going back to the trashy things she allegedly said about him, according to Swanky Jerry, during last season, where he said he had called that she did not realize that he was actually on call. So he had heard every single thing that Annie had said to her manager about him, which was actually what really birthed this issue between both of them. So, despite all of that, and the most recent trash talking, smear campaign that Annie had been on about her so-called friend and brother, Swanky Jerry, Annie sat down there at that table and was attacking Swanky for not standing up for her, for not fighting Zari on her behalf. See, guys, yeah, I feel like sometimes some of these cast members are gracious. Because as far as I'm concerned, though, Swanky was kind of nice. I think he was nice. You know, the way he was like, okay, so what about your lunch date with Fantana? What about that? I felt like he was actually nice because, hey, guys, hey, God. See, Annie will tell me who gave her that audacity where she chopped. She will have to tell me. Because Swanky was kind of cool. And you could tell that the guy was actually done with all of Annie's lies and, all of her manipulations, and just to even further expose how manipulative she is. You know, instead of her to answer the question direct, she's going on about, Swanky, where was the audio? You lied to over 1 billion people about audio. Where's the audio? Where's the audio? And I'm like, what audio? What audio? This guy said he heard you on call. Like, he was on that call. He heard you. He heard all the nasty things you had said about him to your manager. So which audio are you talking about, Annie? Which audio? And he said, this is what Annie does. You know, you stir shit up, you stir the pot, you raise dust, and then you're beginning to deflect. You're beginning to, play the victim, act the victim. And that was exactly what she was. The guys was just so, it was just so annoying. And you see, another thing that Annie is very famous for doing is she never ever takes the blame for anything. If Annie were to murder someone today on the show, I'm not talking about real life now, but on the show, she would never take the blame for anything, because that was exactly what she was doing. She was blaming Swanky, and then she turns to Fantana. She was blaming Fantana. Now, she was blaming Fantana specifically because Fantana had actually spewed, like literally regurgitated everything she had told her during their so-called bonding together launch date. Fantana has regurgitated everything to Swanky, and that was Annie's upset with Fantana. And I'm like, I don't understand. Why are you upset? Fantana actually told you that, listen, I thought we're here to bond with each other. Why are you telling me all this? You know I'm going to, spill everything verbatim to these people you're talking about. And he said she does not care. So now, why are you blaming the girl? Why are you like, oh, Fantana, I blame you. I thought you and I had what? You had an opportunity to bond with Fantana, but instead you went on a smear campaign. You went on a ranting spree against Zari, against Swanky Jerry. So what were you expecting? That she was going to give you a pat on the head and say, oh my God, you wonderful victim. Sorry, take heart. Like, really? And then the other part that really pissed me off was Kefiwe. See, as I said on my previous review, that's on my review of episode 2, I just felt like Kefiwe is just really a poor judge of character. Very, very poor one. It was the fact that she has never, she doesn't even know the genesis of this whole drama. She's never had a conversation with Zari. And even though everything was playing out in front of her, she still was taking sides, defending Annie. And then she had the audacity to call Zari two-faced and, fake. And I'm like, no, girl, you are the one that does not really understand what's going on. Because you're new to the group. And you are hearing what these people are saying, but for you, it doesn't really matter. They are ganging up against Annie. Zari is the one that's fake. Zari is the one that's two-faced. Oh, because Zari is not crying foul like Annie, so Zari is the villain. And so because Annie is, don't mind that, because she's playing the victim card, so indeed she's the victim for Kefiwe. I was so disappointed. Actually, another thing that really pissed me off was when Kefiwe was asking Fantana and K-League that, why did Zari say who died when she had asked Zari for a moment of silence? I'm like, why wouldn't she ask who died? Because you were trying to shut her up. You were trying to stifle her, just literally shut her up. This woman obviously had every reason, every cause to address the situation with Annie, to confront Annie about the trashy things Annie had said on her wedding day. This was not just a random party. This was her wedding day. Behind her kids were in front. Behind her kids were in front. So what do you mean by, let's have a moment of silence? You were literally dismissing a serious issue that she was raising. You were literally shutting her up. So who the hell are you to say, why did she say who died? And then, hey God. I mean, guys, you see, in this circle here, everybody is just a hypocrite. Because it's not like K-League and Fantana don't know that Kefiwe was actually wrong for saying what she said. But you see, they don't want their hands dirty. And so Kelly was like, she was just joking. She didn't mean it. No, she wasn't joking. She actually meant it. Because she tried to shut her up. They were supposed to tell Kefiwe that, no, you were wrong to have said what you said at that point in time. So them even trying to make a case for, Zari, I felt like, nah, people should not make a case for her. She was in her right to have asked that question, because that was even the perfect question at that point in time. So why people not calling her Kefiwe for the nonsense that she's asking? Because she was actually wrong, taking sides on a matter that she doesn't even know the genesis of. She doesn't even know the history of what's going on between Annie and Zari. Even speaking of Kaylee, ladies and gentlemen, in case you haven't noticed, I noticed that Kaylee likes drama. She likes drama, but she doesn't want to be the drama. She doesn't want to be, at the forefront of any of the fights, any of the drama. But she enjoys stirring the pot. She enjoys instigating behind the scenes. Because tell me why, when she and Zari met up for football, and Zari, leveraged on that opportunity to apologize to her for, disrupting her event, and really took took accountability for her actions. Tell me why Kaylee decided to inform, or rather just spill everything that Kefiwe had said about her at her event, when she had walked out with Swanky. Tell me why. Because she knows that Zari is going to act on it, and it's going to create more drama. So she's going to just stay behind the scenes, and she's going to be enjoying everything. Like, why this lady so crazy? Why this lady? Oh my gosh, I don't like the drama. I mean, girl, you like the drama. You enjoy the drama. That is why you transfer information. Because you want the drama, but you don't want to get your hands dirty. Chai! Guys, nah. Kaylee is insane. She's crazy. On the other scene, where Diamond, Naked DJ, and Louis had met up. Guys, I was kind of happy that they had met up, because we know that in the previous season, Diamond and Louis, they were not particularly on good terms because of Fantana. Yes, Diamond, of course, was throwing around his ego, trying to prove that he can actually get Fantana instead of Louis. And so they had taken a hiking, not really a hiking trip. Guys, whatever these people were doing, they were testing God. They were trying to kill themselves. According to Louis, or rather Diamond, they were trying to die. But anyways, listening to Diamond and Louis's conversation, guys, I was really worried for Fantana. But at the same time, I wasn't really worried for her, because she knew what she was doing. That girl, she knows what she's doing. I mentioned on my previous video that whatever she's benefiting from, that thing she has going on with Diamond, it's only her and Diamond knows, or probably only herself. Because Diamond was literally telling Louis that he and Fantana are just fuck buddies. Why? Because he has plans to start chasing after the new girl, Kefiwe. Because he heard the way Louis and Naked DJ were talking about her, and automatically it sparked up his interest, and he was asking questions about her. Oh, what's her age? What does she do? What does she look like? And the guy he literally chased away Naked DJ because he wanted to have a private conversation with Louis to get all the tea about this new girl that has just joined their group. And so it really hurt me the way he described his relationship with Fantana. They're just fuck buddies. Fantana is the one that's actually catching feelings. Chai! And you see, Louis kind of felt really bad. And he so longed to tell Fantana, but then because of that argument they had, he just felt like, okay, you know what? Let me just mind my business. Guys, I don't know. I don't know. Now, on to this particular scene, guys. This particular scene was the most annoying scene of this entire episode. And it was all because of the way Naked DJ allowed himself to be played, to be manipulated by Annie. Because you see, guys, it's pretty easy, Annie contributed to disrupting Kaylee's party, her event, right? So who should she have apologized to? Why didn't she apologize to Kaylee? Instead, she went for Kaylee's boyfriend, Naked DJ, because she knows that he likes being neutral. He does not like to engage in all of the drama. He's more like a spectator there. He doesn't like fighting, things like that. And he sort of has some empathy for anybody that needs it, right? And so she had invited him to her house. And the lies that she told, oh my goodness, the lies were gagging me up. The lies. She was lying. This girl was lying, talking about, oh, they ganged up on me. I was watching Annie lie, and it felt like I was watching one of those old Nollywood movies. They ganged up on me. They ganged up on me. I was alone. Nobody had my back. This one ganged up. This one ganged up. Oh, guys, before I scatter my mic, she was, oh, Zari did this, and then Swanky started his own. I'm like, Swanky started his own. You attacked Swanky first. That guy sat there quietly, like he was literally silent. He wasn't saying shit. You attacked that young man. He didn't even cough in the whole drama. You dragged him. You started dragging him for not fighting for you. You started attacking him, and then you retaliated with, questions about all the smear campaign you've been on about him. And then he started talking about, you did this, you did that. Guys, I was pissed. See, I was boiling. Watching this particular scene because Naked DJ literally bought it all. Hook, line, and sinker, all the lies, everything she was saying. And then to further invoke pity from him, to further invest in his emotional bank, she now came up with this story. I don't know if it's true or false, but yeah. She came up with this story about, remember last year, and when I was having issues with people, I was pregnant with twins, and there was nobody I could tell about it. And then I had a miscarriage. There was nobody I could talk to about it. And of course, Naked DJ, because he's human, he's also a kind guy. The guy too felt sorry for her. And during his confessionals, he was blaming everybody for not, pitying Annie, for ganging up against Annie. Guys, see, I'm not saying that I'm happy that she had a miscarriage or whatever happened to her. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. However, I'm going to use Annie's words. These are the same words she spoke towards the end of this episode, where she said, the fact that you are going through something is not enough reason for you to be monstrous, for you to be so mean to people. She said it. And I'm like, Annie, you should say that to yourself. So, according to you, you are this mean and malicious and toxic to your friends in this circle because, according to you, you were pregnant, you had a miscarriage of twins, and so because of that, you're transferring all of that frustrations and aggression to everybody else. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Because the way Annie was actually enjoying herself, the way she was having fun, talking down on Zari's husband, on Zari's wedding, how the way she was very malicious, the way she was just, basking in her toxicity at Zari's wedding. Nah, I don't want to believe she was actually going through trauma. Hence the reason she was behaving the way she was behaving. No way. I refuse to buy it. Now, onto Naked DJ's event. Ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, I felt like there was no use of Zari explaining herself to Kefiwe, because that was her giving Kefiwe unmerited grace. Because this same grace, Kefi never extended that same grace to Zari. She just judged Zari from the very get-go and labeled her the villain of the entire group, which is quite unfair. Because, of course, Zari had asked her about the things she had said about her at K-League's event after she went outside with Swanky. And Kefi was looking, she's always looking perplexed. She's like, well, I would have said it to your face, but you went out. Her eyes were looking like real pop out of her head, And then Zari was explaining something like, Zari, why are you explaining? She does not deserve an explanation. And then Zari says she apologized. Like, Zari, why would you even apologize? You shouldn't apologize for speaking your mind. Annie deserved to hear your mind. Because when she was yapping her mouth around, she was uncontrollable. Yeah. So why are you apologizing? And then it was so sad hearing Kefi say in a confessional that, whatever she had said that day about Zari, that she would say, she doesn't mind saying it again to Zari's face. I'm like, all for a malice that you know nothing about. You've already taken sides. You've already inherited beef. Women supporting women because both of you have kids. Seriously. If that is how the world works, everybody will just be dying because it doesn't really make sense. But I actually loved the atmosphere at the event, you know, initially because it was all love and light. People were apologizing to each other. What's his name? Naked DJ, you know, wanted everybody to keep in touch and checking on everybody. And then Louis gave him a hug. Fantana also used that opportunity to apologize to Louis for the altercation. And then Swanky apologized to Kaylee, you know, for disrupting her event. And Annie had actually arrived with her bad energy, bad blood everywhere, bad vibes. You know, she was already bringing the negativity here. I'm sitting amongst animals. I want to see if they're going to attack me. I'm going to try and be quiet. And then when Swanky was actually apologizing, all of that attitude she was giving was just so disgusting. She's giving some nasty attitude. And I'm like, you see, Annie, this is your problem. This is your problem. You start shit up, and then when people retaliate, you begin to cry foul. You begin to play the victim. Is this how you are? For real? Because it was just completely uncalled for. And you see, she was doing all of that after Zari had actually extended a hand of friendship to her. And she had taken Zari's hand, and it looked like they had actually reconciled. But then when Swanky was talking, she was... And guys, I wanted to even ask you all, because I noticed that even in the final scene, when she was calling her husband Two-Face to tell him that I want to come home, babe, I want to come home, you know, I want to come home, she was acting... Guys, I'm not saying that she's on drugs, though, but maybe I watched too many movies, and maybe I've actually seen a lot of documentaries about people who are drug addicts, and then when they are trying to withdraw, they begin to suffer from withdrawal symptoms. You know, it's like they begin to scratch, their body begins to itch. That was how Honey was behaving. And I was wondering, like, Honey, were you really high on something this entire season? Because the way you're acting, sometimes you're acting erratic, sometimes you're acting really slow. The other times, you're actually acting like you have selective amnesia, like it's somebody else that is actually doing all of those horrendous things that you're doing, and it's not you. Girl, are you okay? Are you really okay? Like, are you fine? Yeah. You see, I was quite glad when Kefi decided to have a word with Annie, because she had actually observed Annie's behavior for herself at Naked DJ's event and also at Kaylee's event that night. And guys, Annie is just very predictable, because it looked like she was trying to pick a fight with Kefi for even questioning her behavior. Because Kefi was asking her, don't you want peace? Because Kefi had seen the way she was making faces maliciously when Swanky was talking. And she was like, oh, she's offended by that question. She doesn't like the way the question is. Oh, God, guys, yeah, see, I was Swanky Jerry at that point in time, yeah, because Swanky was right beside them. He overheard all the nonsense, all the lies that Annie was saying. Because Annie was like, oh, Kefi, you don't know what I went through that night. I was ganged up upon. 1, 2, 3, 4 people were talking. I'm like, oh, God, Annie, just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Just shut it. You're lying. Like, you're such a blatant liar. Shut up. Shut up. Guys, it was so annoying. So annoying. And it was even more annoying listening to Kefi saying, oh yeah, it wasn't fair though. It wasn't fair though. What wasn't fair? Zari was having an issue with Annie. Annie dragged Swanky into it and tried to drag Fantana into it. So who dragged people into the matter if not her? Or was Kefi blind that day? Like, wasn't she seeing for herself what was going on? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please go ahead and share the comment section below. I will see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing time.